Hello, MS Live. I'm your host, Dulci. Happy Thursday. Today is Thursday. And Ruth, when you get here, you try to throw me off on Tuesday by saying, have a wonderful weekend. And yeah, I'm so easy to divert off. You tell me it's Tuesday, you tell me it's Thursday. Remember, I always get that messed up. So let me share this to Meerkats. All right, it's not. Hi, Ruth. Ruth, you said happy weekend on Tuesday, and I was swearing to my husband uh, on last Tuesday that it was Thursday, and I knew it was Tuesday because I had a doctor's appointment right afterwards, so I had to laugh. Hi, Patricia. Boy, you haven't been here. Hi, Chris. It's so good to see you guys. You know. Anyway, Ruth. I hope that it helped. I went down to the AFO people, and there's two different types of AFOs. This here, the right, Ruth. It's hard enough dealing with what day it is for me, but I know exactly where you're at. Does the day matter? I remember when we spent a year RVing, there was a clock at this RV store, and the clock was so neat because it didn't the arrow didn't point to the time. It had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It had days, 7 days, and the clock slowly pointed to the day it was. I think everybody with MS should be issued a day clock after a certain. Richard, you're here. Oh, it's so. I'm happy. I'm happy. Um, you know, uh, uh, Ingredients, MRIS. I don't know what that is, but Richard, we were talking about axonics. He's considering that as we are. So, all right. So I've got something to say to them. What do we do when the worst has happened? Our greatest fears have come to fruition. Here's my MRI. It's for my C spine. Let me see. Oh my gosh. Let me see. I think I was laying like that. Yeah, I was laying like that. I was laying. Anyway, when all your myelin is stripped, and by the way, when you look at this and you on the different angles, you'll see each vertebrae around is so compromised. Now, mind you, my brain up here needs to get messages from the rest of the body. So it goes up, but it hits these blocks. It hits that block, it hits that block, it hits that block. So no wonder you're not making it to the bathroom. Actually, with axonics and tryptophan, when that combination, the bladder stimulation with the medication, it stops this. It makes it more effective. So when the worst happens, what do you do? How do you make pleasure out of life? I don't know about you. I'm trying to be different in that if my body says it's time to sleep, I need to be receptive to that. Uh, I got to tell you, I am rare because all of you have been counseling me for years. You guys are good at taking naps, closing your eyes. you don't go to sleep if you're not tired. I love that. I love that you can not be stuck in the rut, the constraints of society. When society tells you you have to go to bed at 10 and wake up at 6, uh, those rules go out the window when you have advanced MS, when you've any MS. I'm telling you, when you guys have MS, when we have MS, when we have any difficulty, they go out the they go out the window. We should not be doing what I do. What? All right, let's start with what you do. What control freaks do to do what's appropriate in society. Hi, Maggie. What do control freak? What do we do? Right? All right. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. I get up. I start cleaning a little bit, and all of a sudden I hit the wall, and I'm tired. I lean back. I Paul. You know what I do? I I take medication. There's got to be something that helps me to adhere to the society's norms. Caffeine, I got to take lots of caffeine pills. I have to take Ritalin. I have to take, medical marijuana, anything to get me going, right? And I will tell you something. That medical marijuana, I know everybody says sativa is what's supposed to give you energy, and I'd love for you guys to chime in. You know what? Please chime in because the only strains that work for me are the ones that are indica, the old fashioned. And I don't know. So that's what I wanted to say. So, what do you do when you're at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Your body says, no, you know what? It's might as well be 3 in the morning. We have to go to sleep. We have to take a nap. We have to lay down. We have to stop putting expectations on ourselves to conform with society. When the world is going for a walk at 3 in the afternoon and you're like, you can't keep your eyes open, uh, maybe we need not to take caffeine or have a cup of espresso. Maybe we just have to relax. Uh, um, I don't know. Maybe. And at 3 in the morning, when you wake up, and all of a sudden your brain says, I've got energy. Maybe we need to get up at 3 in the morning and do a load of laundry or with your walker or with your so Maggie is, by the way, Maggie is thrilled that she got disability and she's retired. She's blessed. And Gina says, fight, fight, fight. Um, and it's true, but I'll tell you what, Maggie May, many of us with MS, at some point we get hi Alan, early disability. So I've been on disability since I think 1998. And Kim says the CBD 500 wrote for me 7 drops at night, then in the morning I can actually walk with no foot plan. And Jane, you're here. Okay, let the party begin. It is awesome. I know we talked about ankle foot orthotics and shoes. So I wanted to continue. this here's the Propel shoe that it's my favorite summer shoe. And what's good is that when I went down to the prosthetic place yesterday, asked them to cut my existing AFO, my old one, cut it down and put a pad on it so I can wear it in my sandals. So this is how that looks. This is the old AFO. The newer one it's more helps you walk right. I don't want to walk right. I just want to walk. You ever go to the neurologist and they say, all right, we got to do a walk test, right? Does anybody do what I say? I look at the technician. I said, you want me to walk fast or do you want me to walk pretty? Because walking pretty takes a step. You take a step, let the left knee bend, and then you swing forward. It'll take a lot longer, but but when they have the time test, if I walk like a stilt, stilt as fast as I can actually, because I got long legs, I can go really fast. So the other Propel sandal is this. Problem is that the inserts are disaster. All right. So this here is Velcro. All right, and you put that's Propel, Propell, right? And it's so funny because some people, uh, um, they're like, why are you wearing that over your leg? Now, you know what? All right, and Gina wants to know that if I've been better off not viewing my MRI. All right, I covered that off. Everybody with the MS should be taking alpha lipoic acid. The standardized 600 milligrams of. In fact, I take a from Puritan Pride. I think it's a 300 of RALA and 300 of SALA. I can't, and that prevents your brain from shrinking. So to answer your question, Gina, would I have been better off not viewing my MRI? I am a bit of a sociopath when it comes to having empathy for myself. I don't have it. I've got bruises and cuts and scrapes all over. Right here is a bruise. I so I don't have empathy. So looking at my MRI and being told that the MRI is somebody who's in bad shape, my God is stronger than the MRI. Yeah, I don't believe anything. So I just don't. No. Somebody at the gym came up to me and said, I know you're very upset about your MRI. And I think, how does anybody know your emotions attached to, uh, how does anybody know what you feel towards an MRI? How do I feel about that? It's a picture. I feel the same way as I do about the clock on the wall behind me. It just tells the time. It doesn't necessarily. It doesn't. Yeah. it says that it's what 11:15 behind. It's backwards, and I know that. But what does that have to do with me? And what does it have to do with us? It it's bumper. It's guidelines that we can either choose to accept and have it affect us, or we can just continue to live our lives. Does that MRI? Do I think of the MRI when I'm sitting on the couch at 3 in the afternoon after swimming and doing not being able to do the stuff I used to do? Do I think of my MRI, or do I think, what can I take? Can I drink? Is there sugar? Is there caffeine? Is there B12? Is there something I haven't considered? Is there green crack? Is there CBD oil? Is there something, right? I'm not thinking about, well, an MRI says I'm in bad shape, so I might as well just kind of just accept it. No, we are called by God to live our best lives, regardless. Remember, Paul said when he was in jail, I think in Hebrews, he says, I can do all things through God who gives me strength. And it had nothing to do with him climbing or doing the impossible. It had everything to do with him being in jail. He could be in jail, he could be anywhere, right? I can be and Paul said, I can be in all situations because God provides. And so it doesn't matter your MRI, your C-spine, your brain with chicken pox, your spine that says that you're a paraplegic. It doesn't matter if, you know what, how come I'm walking? How come I can stand, all right, and sit? How come, right? This says I can't do that, right? And discipline tells me that I need to force strength in this leg, right? I need to do push-ups. I discipline, right? God said, I gave you a body. That body that you're cursing is not your body. It's God's body. You you went down to the rental place like everybody else, uh, and you decide that, or God decides you're going to be born. So you're given a rental car, which is our body. Your soul is leased a rental car, and you bring it home, and all of a sudden it's prematurely rusting. The wiring is not right. Well, some of us were dealt a lemon, all right, but it's God's lemon. If God made lemon cars, right? If God made prisons, some of us need to be in that prison to sing, just to sing, to show other people that a stupid MRI doesn't define who I am. Doesn't it, yeah, this is evidence that the rental car that God gave me to scoot around this world. It's a jalopy. I'm running a lemon law. Lemon. It's but you know what? If Paul showed us how to be grateful in all situations, we have to know that in Romans 8:28 it says God creates everything, all things. Romans 8, all things work together for good for those who are called according to God's will, God's love. If we are so, if we lean into Him, perhaps we will be grateful for a situation, and instead of trying to chemically alter ourselves into sleeping at night when the rest of the world is, and having energy in the morning when the rest of the world does. If we can lean into the fact, I'm going to be, in fact, I'm going to ask God right now, allow us all to be content, just to be content, and to not chemically alter, not in fact, I used to say whip the ponies, right? Yeah, whipping the ponies. There were combinations of drugs that I could take that I'd have I'd have really great energy. And right, way back, what I used to, I'm telling you, if you mixed Oxycontin methyl with Ritalin, I'd have 6 hours. 6 hours. All right. So, lemon bar. You know what? I have lemon bar. I just made a bunch of lemon bar cookies because sugar is a favorite food group of mine. Let me see. Gina says in Canada they require MRIs for all DMT prescriptions. Otherwise, they feel go on symptoms and they sent me back mentally. You know what? That's because when we look in our MRIs, we don't separate our souls from the physical rental that we were getting at the beginning of our lives. We're given brand new car and it had fresh paint and it was excitable, it was loving, it was able to do all sorts, but all of a sudden it's prematurely, it's not as fun to drive anymore. But we've got to, Gina, for you, you've got to not look at your MRI if it makes you feel bad. The only way you can look at your MRI and read your radiology report is if you can divorce yourself. I have a lot of friends who are doctors, and you know what? They tell me you do not want somebody to treat you who has an emotional connection. You almost want them to treat you like an assembly line of, of cars. And the reason why is that when they can treat you clinically and not as a friend, when they can do that, they can be the best doctor they can be. The minute they start having an emotional attachment, they might not choose the greatest thing for you because they're not willing to risk. And honestly, think about that. That my catastrophic attack in 2017, my neurologist at Johns Hopkins cared so much. I mean, think about it. Could it have been love? She cared so much about me dying from a parasitic uh, something because I have lymphostemia. It's lymphopenia, right? I'm getting but anyway, she said I was not on medication for 6 months after being taken off Gilenia. And was she being evil or was she being clinical? And said the odds of you dying are greater statistically than you having a catastrophic attack. Therefore, she made the judgment call. I'm not going to give you any medication till your lymphocytes come up. Well, you know what? this is where we with MS have to say something. We have to say something. We have to give our opinion. We have to divorce ourselves. We have to trust that our doctors are looking at us. And you never look, because our friends and our family and our neighbors, they get they're looking at you, they care about what you say until all of a sudden they get that hazy look in their eye, and they kind of turn their head when they walk by your house because you might want to have a conversation and they don't know. They don't know. Oh, April, thank you. April's commenting on my lipstick in my dress. Again, it's all smoke and mirrors. You know what's awesome, April? Maggie, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Maggie's leaving. This here is my persona. This here is another persona. This, if you can just sit back and realize how amusing, how life is meant to be enjoyed. We're all meant to be instruments of God's peace. Uh, and I just have to work on not being so controlling, so controlling. All right. Um, so Brandon is saying you have to be your own health advocate, it's true. All right. Let's see. Ruth said. Let's see. Ruth, it is not how many lesions you have. But you know what? It's more than that. It's not how many lesions you have, because what they discovered is that many of the lesions would in our brain don't do anything at all. So only a few of the lesions. The you know I I don't know. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Again, we're more than our lesions. We're more than our MRI. And you know what, Gina, if the MRI is bringing you down, think about Paul. You can be in every situation with God giving you strength. Think Romans 8:28, and every time something is pulling at you to feel bad, sit there and think, yeah, but I'll tell you what, I was feeling bad because I fell. I fell. I got a planted. I bashed at my head. This is after swimming a half a mile. All these things happened, and I was feeling bad. And I went into the bathroom to go to potty, and all of a sudden there was a cacophony of noise. There were birds just singing. Oh, and I started listening to the different bird songs, and I got to tell you something. I stopped feeling sorry for a second. Actually, no, I didn't feel sorry for myself. I stopped being frustrated with a body that was not acting the way I wanted to. I wanted to clean up the back porch, the screen and porch. I wanted to do that. Hi, Rob. Um, uh, all right, here. April is sharing, since her daughter is a dental assistant. She said you got beautiful teeth. Thank you, thank you. I by the way go to the dentist tomorrow, and I go every 6 months. I'd rather go to the dentist than nothing else. you know what, and everything's smoke and mirrors, right? Everything is, yeah. Don't tell. I am the star dental person because when I go in, I'm ridiculous on my teeth. Uh, Ridiculous. I can't go. If I go to sleep without flossing, I have to get up in the middle of the night and floss my teeth. It just, and I think it started because I had the palate orthodontic work since I was 6 years old. Palate spreader, head, I had it all, and I so much. Thank you. You know what? I'll tell you what. Do Oh, I've got so many tricks and trades and all. I've got so many tricks. But it's back to the point is that enough about me. I'm not going to talk about me. But if we can suspend this here, every time I look at this, Gina, I'm thinking about you, Gina. Every time you look at your MRI and it makes you feel bad, think of yourself as Paul in prison, right? You're in prison. You look around, you look around and you're like, God, this sucks. This sucks. And yet the problem is you're considering your situation instead of considering the joy. Every day every day I talk to somebody and I was thinking yesterday, I was talking to my father, and I said, why worry about anything? I mean, there's some scary stuff that is supposedly happening, but you know what? It reminds me, and I said this yesterday, if God takes care of the birds and they don't worry about, and that's in Matthew, in the book of Matthew, if they don't worry about saving seed, if they don't worry about living water, if they don't worry about that, then what makes, and Jesus said, what makes you think that you're not that much more special? Uh, Again, we have to recognize our blessings. We have to we have to be of the world, or I'm sorry, be of God's world. Uh, God says not to worry, leave all up to Him. What does worrying do? And furthermore, it's not a day can be gained, not a day of life will be gained for worrying. Uh, so yeah, it's pointless. So and I think back in '93, after I was done working teaching second grade, I got in lazy boy and I'm reading MS and Me and I'm crying because I'm a probability and statistics chick. So I am reading the probability of me getting an MRI someday like this. He said, no, no, that I couldn't even fathom that. That is so far beyond what I thought. No way, no way. Oh my God, I cried because I was so tired. I knew something was wrong with me. And you know what? 35 years, is it 35, 92? No, it is. What is that? 31 years later, the worst, my worst fear has happened. But guess what? and I'm still happy, and I'm still good. I am more at peace now than I could have ever had imagined. And if it took the fact that I got MS, if that was what I needed to separate myself and forgive myself for being inadequate in certain areas, if then I am so grateful. I wouldn't want life without MS. I wouldn't want it because it's that Second Corinthians 12 uh, uh no, Second Corinthians 12 8 through 10, where Paul's affliction in his son, he prayed, he said, God, take this 3 times. I asked the Lord to take this from me. And and he said, my grace is sufficient for you because my power is made perfect in weakness. And it's true. You know, if you didn't have a jalopy that broke down on the side of the road, needed to jump, I'm saying the rental car that doesn't fail you. You fall out of a supermarket, you fall out of your scooter, that kind of stuff. You didn't have that. Angels couldn't run to your rescue. You know how awesome people feel when they help put a wetsuit on you? Do you know how awesome people feel when they help balance you? I couldn't imagine how couldn't imagine. But the exercise is to let them be your angel because then you're letting God work through the universe. You know what? And that happened to me yesterday. It is. I have to be obsessed for another scooter because my scooter. Uh, uh, I brought it out yesterday. I was gardening, and it's uneven. And darn if I didn't fall. But I'm laying there with the scooter on me, and I have my phone around my neck, so I could call for help, and I did, and I got help within I'd say 2 minutes. I'm laying in the sun with my denim jacket that I wore the other day. It was the no, I wore it yesterday as well, but and Gina says, yeah, it's and you know there Gina would rather live life like she had MS, but not actually have it. And there are so many people who are superstars in the MS world, superstars, and it's like, what do they have? MS light? Just yeah, I'm gonna have. I remember going to my aunt's beach house, aunt and uncle, and I was trying to get in, and she told me she was diagnosed with MS. And she looked at me, and my legs were. I was having problems stumbling, and she looked at me, and I looked over at her, and I said, "Yeah, yeah, it's not all pretty." And she said, my MS will never get that bad. My MS won't get that bad. And I hear it because we are called as Christians to hear, to listen, right? To listen. And I hear that, and but what you can say something, but should you? So you know, I'm like, well, that's great. You have the kind of MS that's controllable. That's good, and you can mentally control it. Ah, I wish I could. That is, maybe you can teach me how I can not get that bad, because it's she actually believes that she's the kind of MS that she can control. And she's still walking. It's been uh, probably 18 years. She's doing fine. So, all right. So let me go back and say, all right. Let's see. Ruth says, what was my first DMT? It was the very first one that was approved. It was beta seron. Uh, that was that was my very first beta seron. It was just approved in 1993. There was a lottery. Everybody in the United States that had MS was so hopeful to get on it. There was a lottery. So many people wanted it. But because I was married and we were in the Air Force and I was listed as a high risk uh, uh, medical person, they were able to bypass the lottery because, and I was able to get on it right away. Or let's just say it didn't work for me. So then my next one, I tried for about 6 months to get used to beta seron, and Copaxone came out, I guess, a year later, but you had to pay to be in that study program. So, and we used to. And April talks about falling out of her power chair. And yesterday, I fell over. All right, and April says I go garbage picking, and she finds great things. Well, one day taken. That's right. It was my power chair. It went right over. All right, let me see. I don't think you ever gonna get bedridden. Oh my God, by the time. Yes, yes. And Chris is sharing that Copaxone, it was her first medication, and her mother is 78 and has been on it, uh, is still on it today. I got used to it. That's a problem. Copaxone, they started, Avonex was introduced, so I started doing Avonex with Copaxone. Anyway, all right. So, Chris is saying if you let people help you, all right. Remember, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. If you when they walk out of the gym, when somebody walks by you in the shopping center and you've got groceries, if they say, "Do you need help?" If you practice knowing that this could be God's voice in your ear saying, I need you to let this person help you. Right. I need you. So if you, even though you don't need help, you don't need somebody to open the door. You don't need somebody to get your jacket on. If you stop for a second and let them help you, yes, yeah, please. I would love that. I would love that. It just there was somebody who walked up to me and I was taking a shower out in the outside pool, and she came over and she says, "Can I help you?" And I'm in the shower. I'm holding on to the fence, and I said, "You know what? I'll tell you what. If you see something that you think could make my life easier, I want you to go ahead and do that. Do do it. Just make sure I'm holding on to something when you lay hands on me, because anyway, we've got to do that. We've got hi, bad Sheba. Huh? Love that. I love your name. All right. Again, April says she doesn't think I'm ever going to get bedridden. Does I'll tell you what. Who thinks like that? Who? I don't think like that. I mean, if you think like, oh my gosh, am I? I have evidence. that shows that I am bedridden. This is evidence. But you know what? I'm not. It's because I'm not in prison. Paul, when he was in prison, and he's singing, and he said, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. You know, the confines of prison is the way you think. If you think, oh, I'm worried, I'm worried. In 1993, on Beta Seron, in that chair, reading MSME, and worrying, I'm gonna. I don't ever think I'm gonna have a C-spine so screwed up or a brain that the evidence is gonna show that it's a quadriplegic. I don't think I'm ever. Guess what? I regret every tear I've ever cried about being doomed because I could have been going for a walk, hiking, riding my bike. And I did all those things, but I did it after my tears. Uh, I'm telling you what, it just we need to we just need to break that supernatural hold over our beliefs that we own our bodies, that this soul was given this body and you're one because you're selling your body. Your body is a rental. Is a rental. It is not you. You ever look in the mirror and you're like, I don't know who you are. Especially as you age, you're like, I was just getting used to. I was, hi Dennis, I was just getting used to who you look like when you were 20. And I was owning that. And then all of a sudden, everything started going sinking, or, all of a sudden you needed, I don't know. It's always something, but it's something with everyone. I'll tell you what 60-year-old man without MS doesn't get that little pot belly. All right, so it's there's so many people go to the gym and they come up to me and they're like, you inspire me. It's like, no. So I'm it. I'm you know what we need to do supernaturally to keep the body going. We have to do. Hi, Ken. Yeah, in that book. Did you like the bookmark? Yeah, I read mine this morning. My bookmark. I had to. I have to. All right, then. Yeah, and Dennis has got some beautiful, profound words. He says, a good thing about the future is that it comes one day at a time. Again, how do you eat an elephant, right, Dennis? How do you eat an elephant? The old adage, how do you eat an elephant? One spoon at a time, right? Yeah, yeah. Of course, the elephant might not be happy about that, but it's good. It's good. Um, it is good, right? Because I think at 93, laying in that lazy boy, I remember, I just, uh, I remember laying there and just fearing, just fear, fear. And this is before I had a really strong relationship with Christ. I read the Bible and I had so much fear. I had the bondage of fear. What happens if you get worse? What happens if you don't? What happens if you do, right? Is it going to change the fact that you've got to live right today? Is it the fact that perhaps in the future, when you get worse, you're going to have a characteristics in you that can handle it so much better than you can fathom, than I could fathom in 1993, laying back and reading that statistically. I, it what happens? What happens if the worst happens? Let's just, not worry about it. And if it does, we'll deal with it then, because God gives you everything that you can handle it. Remember, I told you about my work, my struggle is to chemically control the way I feel. Hi, Dee Dee. Uh, Chemically, it's like I'm tired. It's 9 o'clock in the morning and do MS Live. I've got to take. I'm going to take a couple caffeine pills. Drink some coffee. Maybe eat some chocolate. I don't know. I don't. Am I going to do that, or am I going to lean into the being grateful and not worrying about anything? You just let God unfold the day. After this, at the Bel Air Athletic Club where I swim, two of the lifeguards, I love them. I don't have children. But if I were to have children, I go out in the world and I pick up kids and okay, I love teenagers because I just do. So it is great. So after this, two of the sisters who are lifeguards at Bel Air Athletic Club are going to come over to my house and I've got to figure out how to entertain them. Um, but you know what? You know how awesome it is. Somebody who is as broken as me, as broken as you are, as broken as it doesn't matter how broken you are, but somebody who is broken all of a sudden is able to bring people together with love. Again, this MS stuff is small beans, right? Small. Talking about this, it's small. It's so small compared to who I am. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. I'm going to live having this disease, and I'll tell you what, this is a 16 and a 19-year-old who are coming over, and you know I don't know why they like me. I don't know, but I love to look at them and appreciate their walk in life. I like to know about their life, and they're so interesting. So I just I've got to work on that. I've got to work on letting them know, looking in their eye, and letting them know they're special. And we all can do that with one another. And one of the things that people feel is smiling. If you can walk and smile, if people feel loved, right, we can all promote this love. Thank you, Chris, for saying it. It's the Jesus in me. Uh, All right, let's see. I know. All right, Al's bladder again. I know Richard. You were talking about axonics. The implant. I like that because it can be turned off for MRIs, and I've done that. I like it. Between the axonics, bladder stimulation, and a little bit of that medication, don't have problems. Although you have to do all of that with behavior modification because remember discipline just because you get in, we people with them we're so predictable, right? What do we do? We're like, all right, I'll spend $1,000 to get this implant, this pacemaker, my bladder. I'll take the ditropan, I'll turn it on, and then I'll drink copious amounts of water in my spill-proof sippy cup. And you know what happens? I won't go to the bathroom every hour, every 2 hours. I'll mow two lawns, and because all of a sudden you get all the stuff and implanted in chemical, and you start behaving badly, right? You, you, these devices, the pills and everything, are not supposed to take place of our behavior modification or resilience. I've got to do lunges. I can do walking lunges. I have to, and I'm gonna put on. I think I'll put on that shoe today and see how that's gonna work for me. Um, also, let's see. So. All right, I know it's 10:55. It's 10:57. It's it's almost the top of the hour. So we've done this for an hour. Isn't it amazing? I was so tired this morning, and I love my egg and toast. So Brian made me breakfast, and I was sitting there, and he said to me, he says, the people who come Tuesdays and Thursdays to this show, right? All of you, he's like, you guys are amazing. He says it's amazing how faithful we all are to show up. And he says, do you think they feel bad because you do? I said, what's amazing is not that you guys show up. What's amazing is I've been able to show up. I and he started laughing. He says, "Yeah, that is amazing. That is amazing." But again, if God calls you to do something, and even if you don't think you can do it, I can. There's no way. There's no way I can do this. I've got my MRI. Says I'm sick. I'm sick. See, I'm sick. See, and because I like a side of me wants to pull that up, and every time somebody says, "Well, you've had MS that long, well, you're doing great." Yeah, tell me I'm doing. It's forget it, forget it, forget it. We are all here together to bolster each other so that we can spend the rest of the day and the whole weekend. Let's go out and not have MS. Be an instrument of God's peace. Let's go out, no MS, talk or anything until next Tuesday. On Tuesday, come back here and I want you to bitch, complain, talk about your challenges, your falls, we'll control or we'll compare notes. So I just I want everybody here, as God is my witness, make me an instrument of thy peace. Make us all instruments of thy peace. Let me pray us out. Dear Heavenly Father, I'm speaking to you on behalf of everybody here that is challenged with MS or with fear or anxiety or just, Lord, you know my MRI, and you also know that this body is your body, and you gave it to me on loan, and you gave everybody who's watching a body on loan, right? On loan. And it's so important that we look up instead of looking out. Look at the things that are making our bodies fall apart. Lord, allow us to be receptive to the love you have around us and not where we want it to be. Allow us to comfort each other and to be good daughters and friends and spouses and not to live with this disease, not to allow it to encompass us. Lord, I just ask that you bring us peace. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I love you all. And as Shima said, iron sharpens iron. My favorite people in the world are those that beat me with the Bible or with the bookmarks, right? I have to read that bookmark every day. And I read it this morning because I know I'm a bad, bad girl without rules. Anyway, God bless you. You have a wonderful weekend and fear not. Fear not, right? Because if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And God's going to give you the ability to handle it better in the future. When you can't fathom, how am I going to handle that? You'll figure it out. Trust me. I do. And defy your MRI. Anyway, love you, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye, guys. Bye, guys.